Hey, everybody. On this episode of SAMP&CHANCE Boxing, we are going to take a look at the first card of the year. It went really quick for boxing cards. Also, we're going to take a look at Ryan Garcia and all the stuff that's going on with him. We're also going to take a look at referees and what roles they play in boxing matches. All this and so much more on this episode of SAMP&CHANCE Boxing. So, guys and gals, strap in. SAMP&CHANCE, here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of SAMP&CHANCE. I am your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance. Michael's Chance, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
Can't complain, man. Here we are, Friday Eve, Thursday. Here we go. We got Better Beef and we got the Better Beef fight coming up this weekend as well. So we'll take a look at that. But before we start any of it, let's get right into it, man. Let's talk
What?
Virgil Ortiz's return. There we go. What was your thoughts on the card overall? It was quick, in my opinion. Everything ended in a TKO.
Oh, I don't know what it was. Like you said, it was fast. Lots of controversy. I think the controversy outweighs what we've seen in the ring. Everybody's calling for. I'm just talking about the card general. Everybody's calling for 20 weeks to be fired. This is the second time he's made a bad decision. He says he's seen his eyes roll in the back of his head. I don't know. I kind of at loss for words for it. It was. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, before we touch on that, I want to touch on quickly Ismael Barbosa.
40 years old.
40 years old, Venezuelan, the first victim of Jeffrey Weeks. And we're going back 7 months, and this happened exactly the same thing happened to him against Rolly.
Yeah.
That happened in the Ortiz fight there at the end. So we'll talk about that in detail afterwards. But Ismael coming out with a statement, and that you could tell, yes, that was the right stoppage because that guy was wobbly on his legs. And after that, he never recovered.
Well, I don't understand what he was doing. He's fighting the older man, a savvy veteran. He rushed in and he got caught with the left hook. And, he just pummeled him. And I don't know why he was rushing in like that, why he was so careless. I guess he actually apologized on X to his fans for rushing in and being careless. But you're fighting a savvy veteran. I know you thought he was an old man. You could break him down, but he waited, he timed you, you got careless, you got aggressive, and you're out of there in the first round. And very, very disappointing.
Well, here's the way I look at it. Honestly, when he came into this match, O'Brien, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. He basically was coming in from the UK. This is the first time a major promotion has taken a chance on him with Golden Boy, if you want to call it a major promotion still. But that kind of played a role in that as well, in my opinion. He was just over exuberant. He had so much going on for him. I don't think it also helps that Oscar's tweeting or posting things like, he's going to win this fight and he's next for Rolly, while Oscar's asking, or while, Ryan's asking for that fight as well. So I think there was a lot of a boosted ego that was involved. I think he came in too eager and it cost him, right? He didn't have his head on his shoulders, basically.
Oh, you got to take off his shoulders. But even then, I know what they're saying. Throw the old man, Barbosa in there. We can beat him up. He is he's a worthy opponent, but he's always in the back end of his crowd to beat him up, push you up the ladder. It didn't work out, and bad game plan by the trainers, bad game plan by De La Hoya. It was just bad all around what they did, and it cost them. And down the ladder he goes.
No.
Happy for Barbosa, the old man still got it.
No, 100%. But I mean, I think ultimately the card was really fast. Virgil looked really good. Unfortunately, he didn't get enough time in there. He even said himself that he hoped that he got more rounds. Now, in terms of the referee seeing his eyes roll in the back of the head, unless we see it on the camera ourselves, it's, we're kind of going on based on what he's talking about, right? I mean, you can't dispel a referee's decision. I mean, you're thinking, okay, he is trying to do this for the betterment of the guy's health. But when you've already got one bad call in your pocket and it's not even a year.
The problem with Tony Weeks is he's done a few.
Yeah.
bad calls lately, and people on the internet want him fired and want him gone. I don't think he should be fired, but he definitely has to use better judgment, because he just, maybe his eyes did roll in the back that we don't know. We didn't have that close vantage point. I guess we have to zoom it in and take a close look. But he was still defending himself. He still had his hands up. He could let it go a little bit longer. This is the second time he's done this. Not like it's a first offense, So
My question on that is, and I'd have to go back and take a look at it. Has this referee been in situations in the past where something bad happened to the guy afterwards, and that's kind of just put that in his head? You know what I mean?
not that I'm aware of, but I'm sure that's happened. He's called so many fights. But at the end of the day, you got to keep the fighter safe, and I get that. But at the same time, if they're defending themselves, it's the first round. He's almost too anxious to kind of get in there. He's overzealous.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Why don't we talk a little bit Ryan Garcia in and out of the ring? Let's get this round started. All right, so minutes before his child was born, he divorces his wife.
Yeah, this is, and I don't want to pick on the guy, but who knows what the reasons are, what she's like, what he's like. He's no walk in the park. He does suffer from mental health, and you can kind of see that with the divorce so sudden like this, and then he's always changing his mind, wants to fight this guy, wants to fight that guy. He's all over the place. He needs to be reined in a little bit. And I don't think he listens to De La Hoya, respects him or Bernard Hopkins much anymore after what happened. So he's just kind of shooting himself in the foot a little bit, I guess. But he's so popular that I guess he figures he can get away with it. But yeah, what a weird thing to divorce your wife like that. So with kids being born, like you could have waited a little bit, but who knows? He's a different character.
De La Hoya is no walk in the park either, in my opinion.
No.
Primarily for the fact that you have your guy calling for a fight, your main guy, your main breadwinner, calling for the Rolly fight, and your promoter's response is, yeah, this guy we have here, O'Brien, he's going to be the next big thing, blah, blah, blah. I mean, pardon me, karma's a bitch. I mean, the outcome of that fight, the way Barbosa beat the tar out of him, finished him so quickly, that's karma, man. I mean, the fight to make, the fight that's going to make money. The way it looks now, it looks like Barbosa probably going to get his rematch with Rolly now, right? I mean,
that's not what they wanted.
That's not what they wanted, but I mean, that's the right fight to make.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, and that leaves, De La Hoya and Garcia out in the cold again. I mean, that Haney fight is still there. Is he afraid of Haney? If that's the question, is he afraid?
I don't know why he would be afraid of Haney. It's not like Haney's a devastating KO puncher like Beterbiev or anything. Like he wins the fights, but he's not like you got to worry about him putting you on the canvas. Maybe he's a little trigger, maybe he's a little gun shy after what happened with Tank Davis. Haney doesn't hit like Tank. So, I mean, Garcia, actually, he would hold his own. He probably would lose on a decision, but that's a huge fight. As you've seen, the last Haney fight only sold 60,000 pay-per-views. Last Ryan Garcia fight, 1.5 million. Put them together, you're going to get 1 million buys. So I don't know why they don't just make it. I think also the other Hoya is like, crap, if Haney might beat him and he's going to lose 2 of his big fights, his stock is going to plummet a bit. So they're kind of trying to be careful with his career, and I get it. But sometimes De La Hoya will come and make a post on Instagram or X, and he sounds so brilliant and so great, and then a couple days later, something stupid. Same thing with De La Hoya is like Ryan Garcia; they're all over the place. You just don't know.
Yeah, I'm not happy with it. I'm not like I love De La Hoya, and he was one of my favorite guys watching.
Yeah, me too.
Kid, right? I mean, I just loved his style. I love the way he fought. But as a promoter, he seems to be more of a child and an antagonist than being good for his guys.
Thanks for bringing that up. You see a lot of these new Eddie Hearns, De La Hoyas, Tony Khans. They think, oh, old man Vince, old man Bob, they don't know what they're doing. Yeah, they're still doing it at the top level. And you guys are bumbling around 30, 40, 50 years younger than these guys, and they're still doing it better than you. So take a note from these guys. Look how they dress. Look how
Al Heyman.
Yeah, Al Heyman, him too. Look how they dress. Look how they act. They carry themselves very, very well. That's
like
why
I love Bob, but there's a mysteriousness about Hal Heyman because you never see him.
Yeah.
He never talks, but he produces.
He does. He knows what he's doing. Pretty soon on Amazon, he's going to have his pay-per-views. We'll see how that goes for him.
It's going to be interesting because money's less now.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how his stable reacts. I would love to find out from David, reach out to him and ask him, how is this going to affect you going forward with PBC?
I don't think anybody really knows until the paychecks start rolling how much money they got for the fight. So we'll see.
But I'm sure some of it has to come out to these guys in terms of, the structure and the system is changing.
Well, Amazon's giving them nothing. They're just saying you can put your product on our platform.
That's it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Heyman's not stupid. He'll get advertisers. He'll get sponsors. He'll find a way to It's like the same thing as the Zone. The Zone, you get some free fights, but you got to buy the papers as a pay-per-view, and you got to subscribe to the subscription. So everything's going to be streaming eventually.
All right. You know what? This was announced Friday, and I made a quick post about it as well. I thought maybe we talk about it a little bit here. We'll probably get into detail on it more and more as we get close to it. But AJ versus Nagano is a done deal. Here we go. Your first thoughts when you heard this fight.
Well, I'm happy for Nagano. Does he deserve it? I guess so. After he held his own with Fury, right? So I didn't release an official date yet. I can still see AJ back.
March 9.
It's official? Okay. Well,
Friday.
Nagano's going to win. If Nagano fights again, oh yeah. Because Joshua doesn't have the resiliency of Fury. You know, when you knock Fury down, guess what happens? He gets up and wins the fights. You start messing with Joshua and stuff, he gets gun shy. Nagano hits hard. And if he fights like he fight against Fury, I don't see why he wouldn't beat him. Everybody's going to say Joshua box circles on him. Sure, he will technically. But when you feel the power of that right hand, he just barely touched Fury and Fury went down.
Yeah.
This is the power this man handles. So I got to favor Nagano. It's a huge fight though in Saudi Arabia, so I'm happy late.
I'm not going to pick anyone yet. It's still kind of early for me, but I'll share my initial reactions. Okay. Nagano went into that Tyson fight with no tape, with nothing for anyone to look at. That's a benefit for Joshua that he has going into this fight. Fury went into that fight not really taking it seriously, and he still won. So what does that say for? I'm not taking anything away from.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Right. So now we have a situation where the guy he's fighting next looked really good against Otto Wallin. Fury didn't look good against Otto Wallin, and he took that fight seriously against Otto Wallin. Tyson Fury did, right? We know the Tyson Fury that's going to come out in February against Usyk. We know that. That's Fury that should have been there for Nagano to shut all this down, and it didn't happen.
Absolutely.
Take nothing away from Nagano. He lost against a guy who wasn't trying and had to figure it out on the fly. Just saying. Right? Power, yes, absolutely. Joshua looks better than he has in a long time. And if he builds off of that, I think this is going to be a bit more of a competitive fight. I'm not taking anything away from either guy, but we have more to work on now with Nagano in terms of, what he looks like, what his style is, how he approaches it, what his stance looks like, right? We got enough. We got 10 rounds of data on him now, in essence. Yeah, he's saying, oh, you haven't seen everything. I'm sure you haven't. And I'm sure every boxer out there hasn't shown everything, right? Until near the end of their career. So I'm curious to see how this plays out, man. I think it's going to be a fun fight. Yeah, Joshua.
You can never really trust Joshua, though. We know he's lost back-to-back to Usyk, to a smaller man. He lost to Ruiz. Yeah, he beat Otto Wallin, but so what? He should have beat him.
I think the motivation is there because if you look at how this all could play out, by the end of this year, we could get that mega fight, Joshua and Fury. I mean, it's very possible if everything plays the way it does.
Looks like it's lining up that way.
Fury and Usyk have 2 fights. Okay. February and probably sometime in the summertime. That's how that's going to play out. Yeah. And then the rematch. And then that sets it up for potentially, depending on the outcome of this fight. And this really sucks for the Zangs and the Joyces and the Dubois and everyone, the Hrgovets and everyone else in boxing.
What about Parker, who just beat AJ too?
And Parker, right? Like, he seems to be the guy who's losing the most. He's the one who really wrecked everything.
Yep.
They were supposed to announce Deontay and AJ for March 9th, fight. Right? That was a done deal, but that got canned.
Wilder's finished after he got beat and destroyed by Fury. You could just see he'll hit hard, but he can't move. He's like he's finished.
Yeah, no, he was totally done, right? I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It all kind of but I'll be honest, man, that's a pure indication of Tyson Fury taking something from him. He really did, right? He took something from him. So in essence, we could potentially see, and I know you don't want to see this, but if Joshua plays this right, he wins this fight against Nagano, and then in the summertime, while those 2 guys are fighting, because that IBF title is going to be stripped either before or after that fight in February. So that's going to be available. Then you got Hrgovets against Joshua for that title. Joshua's got the IBF. The other 3 are going to be over there with either one of those 2, Usyk or Tyson. And that lines you up right there. But here's the thing, Nagano on the MMA Hour with Ariel Hawani is saying that after this fight, he will fight Tyson Fury in October.
Yeah, Fury they'll fight again because Fury's like, I want to do a better performance,
Okay,
right?
but
And they make a lot of money.
But do you put the title, like, I mean, I'd rather see them fight for the title, the guys who are meant to fight for the title, and do that fight after. I feel that you're killing that momentum.
No, because they don't generate enough money. It's money. The money's on the table. Bigger fights with Nagano. So sorry to Joseph Parker. Sorry to all these guys. You're great fighters. You work your butt off. But if you don't generate the money or the buzz, you have to sit on the sidelines. That's the cold reality.
It looks to me as if Saudi Arabia is going to be the place for heavyweight boxing.
They got the money, they pay it. They
Right.
want the super, because people still clamor for the heavyweights. They love the big men fighting. Something about two big guys going at it. Yeah, the little guys are fast and fun, but it doesn't draw, like, unless you're like a Pac or Mayweather, it doesn't get you excited when you see two, holy crap, look at the size of Wilder and Fury. Joshua's huge, like something special about that. Like the days of Tyson, you know, all that stuff. Something about two big guys locking horns.
No, it's just on any level. You look at heavyweights,
especially in the Muslim countries, they love the big tough guys, right?
Dude, they wanted Yokozuna. I know we're a boxing show, but they wanted Yokozuna for one of their shows. That's why they brought in Akibono.
See,
right? Like they knew the guy was dead. Like, no, we want Yokozuna, but yep. he passed. That's okay. Bring someone else in. That's big. Right?
I don't blame the fighters for fighting in Saudi Arabia. I mean, the money's there. You fight where the money is. And Vince McMahon was the first guy to get this Saudi Arabia stuff going with WWE. Another brilliant move by him, and everybody's following in line. Vince is the brilliant. Again.
Yeah. No, 100%. All right, brother man, let's take a look. Are you ready? Let's take a look at this weekend fight. And I'll be honest, man, we're what? Thursday. It's been pretty quiet. Is it because it's in Canada or what? Ding go. Better be fighting Callum Smith.
Should be a good fight. Smith's only lost one time, only lost one fight to one of the best fighters in the world, Canelo. So no skin off his back for that. Like, Canelo beats most people. Should be a good fight. Beterbiev is going to be 39 following this fight. So he is getting older. He did sow some rust in the armor when he fought Yard. Yard fought him hard. He did end up finishing him, but you could see he was vulnerable. That's what I like about watching Beterbiev. He can be vulnerable. He makes his mistakes, but he always comes back to finish you. When he wins a fight, he finishes you. Smith is game fighter. He's much younger. He's about 9 years younger. Smith wants this fight. He's a big underdog. He's a 4-1 underdog. So you got to, if you want to put $100 on Smith, you'll win 400. You got to put 400 on Beterbiev to win 100. So they're not giving him much respect, but he's a much younger man. He's fresher. Beterbiev didn't look that great against Yard. He did win the fight, but he got rocked. Yard's a tough guy. He stunned Bivol. So, I think Beterbiev can get a late round stoppage, but I just got this feeling that Smith he wants to get back up in the title picture. It's going to be a good fight, but yeah, I got Beterbiev probably round 11 stop. This is a big fight. Quebec's buzzing right now. They're loving this. So that's how I see it. What's your take?
It's not too far from you. I'm kind of looking a little past it to see where Bivol kind of fits into this. A lot.
That's what's pissing Smith off. Thanks for bringing that up. He said, I'm sick and tired of people saying Beterbiev versus Bivol. That ain't happening. I'm here. I'll be fighting Bivol. So that's why I think Smith's going to be a real tough out.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Based on what he looked like, Beterbiev looked like against Yard, and yeah, he got it out. It kind of remind me of that division's Deontay Wilder. Take a beating. All you need is one punch, right?
Yeah.
Every fight that Beterbiev has fought up until this point has been a knockout, right? That's clean. He's got a clean 100% knockout rate. So that's always there. But when you're coming in with that kind of energy, knowing that you're being overlooked and everything, you're going to be a different monster. So, it's easy to sit here and say, yeah, better be even 11, better be even this, but don't be surprised if Smith walks away with this victory. I don't think he knocks him out. I think if he can withstand him and outbox him, I think he can probably win this on decision.
The only thing is I don't trust the judges in Montreal and Beterbiev as adopted hometown. Or in Quebec, you trust the judges. Smith can't let this go to a decision because how the judges get. They feel the crowd. They get, they feel the vibe. They usually vote for the hometown guy. But yeah, Smith could easily win this fight. I'd still have Beterbiev because I think he really wants that Bivol fight. But people are giving Callum Smith no respect at all. He's only lost one time to Canelo. There's no shame in that. No. Canelo's an all-time great. So it should be a fun fight. I'm really looking forward to it. Sold out.
10 seconds quickly. Who do you got and win?
Beterbiev round 11. He's going to finish him via TKO.
Okay. I'm going to go round 9 finish. I think ultimately, at the end of the day, what's going to happen is here because of the emotion that Callum Smith is coming into this fight with, like being overlooked, this and that. I almost feel he's going to gas himself. I just have a feeling, I could be wrong. He's just going to try so hard and gas himself out, which is potentially could happen.
Yeah.
And just get caught at the right time. And that's why I'm going 9.
Yeah. And this is
Knockout.
the free fight in Canada. It's on TSN, so in the States on ESPN. So no excuse not to check it out if you love boxing. This is gonna be a fun fight.
Yeah, the card's fun. Everything on it's fun. We'll do a short. We'll do something on Instagram, just breaking down showing us the rest of the card. But for the moment, this is where we stand. We got 11 and we got 9. Let's see which one
Yeah,
comes
see
through.
what happens.
And if Smith wins, it'll be decision.
Probably. I don't see him stopping better BF.
No.
And you'll see Smith versus Bivol, I guess.
Which is fine too. I have no problem with that fight either.
Yeah, if he wins the fight, he deserves it, right?
Absolutely. All right, man. Do you got anything this week in boxing? What do you got?
I do. I'm going to start it. Yeah, we'll start off this week in boxing. On this week in boxing, Mr. Roy Jones Jr. unified the light heavyweight title with a second round KO over the one and only Richard Frazier in his hometown of Pensacola, Florida. 1998, the one and only.
Roy, man, he was something special.
He's actually saying that 1999. He's actually saying that he might want to fight again, just like those exhibition stuff. I don't know if he will. He didn't look very good last time, so
no, he
wants to make some money. He's a great analysis, though.
No, he's good. He knows the game better than anybody, man. But you know what? I think we talked about this before. His ring IQ and everything doesn't translate so far anyway, hasn't translated to be very successful in terms of being a coach.
It's like Wayne Gretzky, the best ever. It's hard for him to coach some of these guys. Just because you can play it and you can talk about it doesn't mean you can actually articulate to the young kids. Same thing with Michael Jordan, best player ever, one of the worst owners in sports. So these guys are great when they're doing it, but doesn't mean they can make other people do it.
Exactly.
So it's a gift, right?
Yeah. Well, no, good for Roy, man. I mean, that guy is a legend. I mean, he's one of the best of best. Was he ever marred in any controversy? Did he beat up his woman or do any of that kind of stuff?
No, some people accuse them of being involved with some PEDs and the Balco stuff around the Barry Bonds times, but he denies that. But never failed to test or anything that I'm aware of. Just allegations of it, but you can make that up about anybody, I guess.
Yeah.
Other than that, no. It's pretty crazy.
Fair enough. All right. Canadian, anything in the world?
Yeah. This time we're not doing Canadian boxing history. This time I'm going to highlight an up and coming boxer from Quebec, Christian Mabili. He is ranked number 5 in the super middleweight division. He's 25-0. They're saying he's like the next John Pascal, David Lemieux. He's coming up. He's 25-0. He's ranked number 5 super middleweight. So that's a name to look out for. Christian Mabili from Quebec. He's on his way up, and we'll be hearing about him.
But there's another guy out of Nova Scotia. He's also a middleweight, Ryan Rosicki. This kid is sick. I've been quietly watching him. He's out of Nova Scotia. My former boss put me onto him.
Nice.
And so he's pretty cool. I've been reaching out to him. Hopefully, if he's watching, maybe he'll come on and join us as well. I actually trained with Angel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he sparred with him.
Gets around.
Yeah, I know he's everywhere. He was training with Bivol for his last fight. And I think Angel Lozano's got something coming up. So I'm going to reach out to him. And he's already said that he'd love to come back on. So, let's try to set something up and get him on and see this journey is that he's on now, man. Guy's working hard. This is one kid on Instagram. He's running. You can see how much work he's putting in, man. That's what you want to see for the future. That's what you want to see for the future.
Right? Yeah, and he's a good guy too, and he works hard, and hopefully he can step up a few levels.
No, we'll find out, brother, man. All right, you know what? Let's wrap it up. It is Thursday, which is Friday Eve, so let's get this party started. Let's get the weekend going. Any big plans for the weekend?
No, not much. Kids got hockey, watch the fights, and tons of football playoff games. So
there you go, man. Go Steelers. Go Steelers. I'm sorry about the Hawks. I was really hoping they'd get in, but you know what? I hate Green Bay. I hate Green Bay because I'm a Steelers fan. They took a Super Bowl away from us, and now they cost you guys a chance at the playoffs. So
Green Bay versus Dallas be a fun one too. A lot of good matchups.
You know what? I'm excited. I mean, I said to you before I knew the Steelers were in. At that point, I said, look, if the tables look the way they do, I'm going to become a Lions fan for the playoffs. I mean, there's one team that hasn't won anything. It'd be nice to see them do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, they hope that they have a run there. It's funny because Lions are playing the Rams. Jared Goff's playing his old team. Matt Stafford's playing his old team. So let's see what happens.
I think all roads in the NFC go through San Francisco, though,
So it looks like they look good.
right? And who do you got in the NFC if you had to pick right now?
AFC looks like
AFC.
Ravens, but that's almost too obvious. So that there's got to be an upset team. You know, if maybe Buffalo, you know, maybe Miami. I don't know, but it looks like the two juggernauts are Ravens 49ers.
Well, I think
That's almost too obvious. You know what I mean? Like, there's always that one team.
I think it's going to be San Francisco and Pittsburgh.
Hey, anything can happen.
I want that so bad. I just don't want San Francisco to win. That's it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? Anyone else. Anyone else. All right, brother man. Let's wrap it up here. My name is Bobby Sampson. His name is Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that download, like, and subscribe to the podcast, salute you.
We do salute you. We are going into the weekend. So no matter where you are, have your fun, do your thing, be responsible. Remember, if you have a family, they're waiting for you. If you don't have a family, you know, don't wreck the chances of having one. So, you know, be safe, do your thing, have fun, just be responsible. If you know, that's all we ask, because we really want you back here for Tuesday. That's it. You know, other than that, Samp and Chance, have a great weekend. We're out.